Hey, it's Tommy Allen from TommyAllenMusic.com. Welcome. This week we have the amazing guitarist Ben Poole. Come check it out.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Yeah.
Cheers.
Clink.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, finally.
We'll get into that when we start.
Definitely, yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming and being in the chair.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
It's all good. We're gonna turn that up. So yeah, if we start off first with, how would you describe your music?
I'd say it's a mixture between blues, rock, soul, a little bit of pop, tiny bit of country when it comes to the technique and guitar playing wise.
Right.
Just from some of the guys that I listened to for a long time, some of the country guys. But yeah, it's always one of those weird questions. Obviously, I get put into the blues box, being a blues genre, but it's not strictly just blues. There's a lot of other styles that are involved, which is kind of a blessing and a curse, I guess.
Right. Okay. And when was you born?
1989.
1989. Okay. And what was your getting into music? If you take us through that journey.
So I started playing guitar when I was about 9 years old.
And how did you get into? Why the guitar?
So my dad was a professional musician for a long time, up until just after maybe when I was, what was I? Maybe I was 3 or 4 years old, and then he packed it all in. But he was a professional musician for a long time, and so there was always instruments around the house, always good music being played around the house, guitars. My dad was a multi-instrumentalist. So
what was he known for?
Variety act.
Right.
So his act was like, the whole thing about him was that he did a little bit of everything, kind of jack of all trades, master of none. I like to take the piss out of him for that. Plays a bit of piano, a little bit of guitar, singing, flute, ukulele. He had a puppet.
Right. Puppet. Puppet.
Yeah, he had a puppet which he'd sing Ben by the Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
That's why I was named Ben, because he'd sing Ben to this little fucking puppet that was so amazing. Yeah, never let him forget that one.
Right. So why the guitar then?
So yeah, I don't know. I just gravitated towards the guitar and started having lessons when I was maybe 9 years old, playing on a nylon strung acoustic guitar. And to be honest, when I started, I wasn't particularly into it that much. When you're just kind of uninspired, I just wanted to be outside running around playing football. But then when I was about 12 or 13 years old, I had a really cool guitar teacher who I started going to, and he started showing me some cool stuff, and everything from Guns N' Roses and Metallica to Jimi Hendrix, Gary Moore. And when I heard Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, that's when it was kind of like the light bulb moment, and I decided, when you're playing that intro riff on a nylon strung acoustic, it's like, it's just not the same. So I said to my parents I wanted a guitar for Christmas, an electric guitar. So I got a Squier Stratocaster that Christmas, and yeah, I think I was about 12, maybe 13, and yeah, from then on, I was inspired, and then I started learning cool stuff, and learning Pink Floyd and Gary Moore, Jeff Healey, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Kind of started going down that path, and just being like properly inspired, hearing stuff that kind of excited me. And then kind of from my mum was big into like Motown and soul music, so I had that kind of soul influence coming from her, and and then this really cool guitar teacher called Andy Larmouth, who I'm still friends with. He's up in like Hartlepool way now, but that was kind of how everything started for me.
So who are your early influences then, other than Hendrix?
So Hendrix is the first big moment, hearing him, and then as I said, Gary Moore. It's more from like some of the key songs that I learned. So Voodoo Child, and then Comfortably Numb. So hearing Gilmore. Prison Walkways, Gary Moore. That was a big just one of those songs. That was my mum that said to my guitar teacher, "Oh, I really love this song. Can you teach Ben this?" That was when I was maybe 15 or something, and that was a big moment. So that's one of the things where recently it's been so cool to things finally come full circle. You know, like I played with Gary when I was in my early 20s, and that was incredible because, you know, growing up having posters of Gary Moore on your wall and then getting to finally play with your hero. So he came to one of my shows. So I was playing just a little bar in Brighton, and he turned up, and I'd met him a couple of months before when I'd played with Jeff Beck, and he was in the audience, and I was more nervous and excited seeing Gary Moore in the audience than I was like playing with Jeff, because I was, as much of a Jeff Beck fan as I am, I was an even bigger Gary Moore fan, so it's kind of like real nervous. And so to get to play with him, and then last year I went to Budapest to play at the Gary Moore Memorial Tribute Concert. And I was on stage with like members of his band, and I had his brother playing, Cliff, who's a good friend of mine. Cliff Moore was playing rhythm guitar while I was doing the lead guitar on Prison Walkways. It's like playing in front of 500 huge Gary Moore fans that have flown from all around the world, as far as Australia, to come to this event, and me being up on stage playing with you know, relatives and friends of one of my biggest heroes. It's like, yeah, that was pretty special. So that was another song. And then Stevie Ray Vaughan, obviously, as we all go down that Stevie Ray Vaughan route as blues guitar players, don't think there's any exception when it comes to that. So going down that rabbit hole for a long time, and watching the Live at the El Macambo DVD like religiously, like every day. I think that was when I was 16, because I remember I was at school still, and that was another big thing for me. So yeah, but a lot of the usual suspects.
Did you dig deeper into the blues at all, going back?
Yeah, of course, got into, you know, had to do that, you know, started to listen to BB King a lot, Live at the Regal. Got back into BB again recently, Live at San Quentin. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
I'm a BB King fan. I've got a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to that Live at San Quentin album a lot recently. It's like, it's just so good. The whole band is just so killer. Like Muddy Waters and Son House, and yeah, kind of obviously going down that, seeing who, you know, you start listening to these people and then wanting to find out who influenced them. And then when I moved to Brighton to do a degree in music, and started getting lessons with a guy called Guthrie Govan, who's an incredible guitar player. So I learned a lot from him.
So did you have a few guitar teachers?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was mainly when I was young. Like I said, there was the one guy, Andy Larmoth, who really inspired me initially, and then a guy called Duke Moody after that. So yeah, so I know there's a lot of players that are just totally everything was sort of self-learned, I guess. But with me, it kind of helped because I'm easily distracted. So it helped to have someone like keep me focused in those early times.
So who would you say is your biggest influence out of them teachers?
Probably I'd have to say Andy Larmoth, just because he was the first one that really steered me onto the direction of guitar, and was showing me Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, which kind of set everything off for me.
And does he stay in touch with you?
Yeah, we stay in touch.
Yeah, and how does he feel about your progress now?
Oh, he's very proud, and I'm like, he's kind of A student that he still brings up. I think
you're ahead of his website, yeah.
Yeah. It's a picture of me. Like I taught Ben.
So then when was your first band?
When I was 16, I had bands before that, but my first actual blues rock trio was when I was 16.
And that was your band, was it, or was it you back in someone?
It's my band, yeah. It's first started my blues rock trio, right. And when I was massively into Stevie Ray Vaughan, so I even came on stage with like the scarf and the flowery shirts and all this.
Why not? 16, you get away with it.
Cowboy boots, the lots. I even had Spurs.
And a horse outside.
Yeah, and a feather earring. So I look back now, I'm like, oh my god.
No, it's part of the process. It's all good.
Yeah, I know, it's part of the process. Everyone's got those old pictures. But you're like, oh Jesus, what were you thinking?
So, and then from there, then was that the Ben Poole band then, or was it named something different?
These are good questions actually. No one's ever asked me these before. That band was called The Fifth Quarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the stupid name.
And just gig locally.
Yeah, this gig locally, just doing little bars and stuff. But you look back on those times, you're like, yeah, it was fun times, man.
Yeah, they
Fun.
were, and that was part of the journey, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I have to say, it's great to finally meet you and heard a lot about you, Tommy, from obviously playing with Barry and Craig. And I have to say, I was always a little bit envious because they said that they always said, man, when Tommy was on fire, he was like the best. He was the best, hands down. So it was it's good to finally meet you and put to the name properly.
Put an old-faced, red-faced ginger, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah. So talking about going back to the days, I'm sure that you look back on those Trafficker days with like fond memories and.
Well, it's weird as you get older because I'm 42 now, and I started when I was 16, and I look back and I've been in so many different bands, and I didn't start my own bands till 2001.
Right.
So I was in bands before that, and when I'm going back doing these interviews and talking to like Marcus Malone, that it's like 20 years ago, and you think that's so long ago, and you don't think about it.
Time flies, man.
You know,
I was thinking the other day, I was like, yeah, because I started my first band when I was 16. I'm like, Jesus, that was half my life I've been playing now.
Yeah,
so,
it goes so quick, you know.
Yeah.
But it's it's one of them. Like I said, I heard of you first, I think, like with Barry and Craig, and I think you was doing some gigs in London. I can't think of the name of the place. And it was a door deal. You play there quite regularly.
Half Moon, Putney.
Yeah, Half Moon. That was it.
Yeah.
So, and I think I saw you on there, and you was playing a Gary Moore song, and it sounded really good. But like you just don't get to cross over.
Yeah.
But these interviews have been a good opportunity for me to catch up with people that I haven't had the chance to catch up with. Yeah. I mean, there's you and there's Ainsley Lister. Like, even though Ainsley and me are similar age, I've not spoken to him really in the whole time we've been on the same scene together. So it's
you played together before, right?
No, not with Ainsley.
Or played on a bill together.
I played with Ian Parker. Him and me got up with Otis Grand.
Oh, okay, cool.
Years ago, but yeah, it's just one of them. And I said to them, like I say to them, that we all should get together, the UK blues guitarists, and do something.
Yeah, man.
Like a gig where it's like a all guitar sort of British players.
Yeah.
It'd be a good laugh. So I keep pushing it, but
yeah.
Hopefully one day it'll stick.
Musicians as well, if you got like Craig's played with me, he's played with you, he's played with Ainsley. It's like, so all the drummers and bass players, I'm sure, have played with all of us. It's such a small scene, isn't it?
Yeah. I know, but he played with me first.
Yeah, you played with me first. I'll give you that.
Oh dear, it's funny. But no, I was going to say, yeah, because you've been gigging with Barry and Craig, so you know what it's like with them two out on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it was good times, man. That was when I started playing with Barry. Really, that was great because that was when things it was kind of the beginning, really. That was 2013. No, what was it? 2012. I think he started playing with me, and that was when I first started getting out of the UK. I think I did my first shows outside of the UK in 2012. And Barry was there for all of that, so it was kind of just that real exciting time of getting out on the road. I've done a little bit before because I played with Danny Wilde for a few years. As soon as I came out of BIM, out of the Brighton Institute in Modern Music, where I did a degree in music, I was straight on the road playing with her, which is cool, like cutting your teeth on the scene and seeing how things worked out on the road, on tour life and living it up. But then the first time I was out with my own band was with Barry on bass, and then a little bit after that with Craig and with those two guys. Yeah, it was like 100 miles an hour, but I look back like fun times, like totally carefree.
But being a band leader, it's tough keeping a band because it's a business at the end of the day, and it's hard to keep the same lineup with the way the music industry and things change.
Yeah.
So it's you have people that you enjoy playing with, but sometimes your paths have to part.
Yeah, especially when the good players, they're always in demand, so it's hard to. Yeah, I mean everyone's doing different things. So
and they all need to earn money, so it's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just the way it is, the way it goes. But yeah, it's all right. I've got it's nice to have a pool of different, quality musicians that I can draw from. Obviously, having an established thing has its benefits, but so it's nice to change it up sometimes and have that option.
So going back to when you got into it, how did you Who was managing you? Was you doing it yourself? Was it your family business, or was it?
No, all myself. Yeah, all myself in those early days, up until just off my own back completely until Manhattan. I signed with Manhattan Records in
That's Alan Robinson, yeah.
Yeah, Alan Robinson. So I was with Alan for a few years. But as far as management, that he was more just the record label. So I was doing a lot of the management side of stuff. Has always really just been me. Obviously just being the person that I reach out to my agents. Having got a lot of agents and a lot of people working for me. But as far as like the boss, the manager, it's always been me really.
Yeah, well, that's the best way I think it should be.
Yeah, obviously it comes with certain demands, and you got to be on the ball all the time. And a lot of the time I just want to focus on playing music, but I can't because I've got to constantly be on top of the emails and on top of logistics and organisation. Really, it's just a lot of organisation when it comes to being the manager. So I'm trying to juggle that along with the music.
So how do you book your tours then at the moment? Do you ring the agency out there and say I want to do this slot, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working with Florence Miller Agency out in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland now for 7 years, I think. So the tours out there are always some of my main touring is always in those countries. I've been working with her since. Actually, I met her in. She first took me on back in 2012 when I represented the UK in the European Blues Challenge, and we came third out of 19 countries, I think it was. Kind of went under the radar over here, to be honest. But I got some cool things out of it, and one of them was my agency FMA with Florence, and she's been amazing. And got Danny in Holland and Belgium. Got agencies in Spain, France, Russia. All over really, America. Yeah.
But it's you that picks up the phone, is it? And you ring her and she sorts it, or?
I just stay in direct contact with the agencies and just say, I want to tour at this point. So it's trying to schedule time slots, trying to work out availability for different periods and for different territories.
And what's the favourite song you've written?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say like a lot of the last studio album I'm real proud of, but it was a team effort. Me and Wayne Proctor and Steve Wright, we wrote the last studio album, which is Anytime You Need Me. We wrote that album. We wrote it together and we worked really, really hard on it. It was like properly locking ourselves away in the studio for days and days and days. Probably, I think we did maybe 5 or 6 writing sessions, and each one of those is 4 or 5 days. And that was in a studio in North Wales. Our friend Steve Wright, he did a lot of mixing with Wayne, mixed that album with Wayne. We just locked ourselves in, had like a proper structure, as if you're working like a 9-to-5 job, which is good for me to have like structure when it comes to that stuff, because it's hard to get motivated just to write a song. But if you go, right, we're waking up, we're having breakfast, and then we start work at 10 in the morning, and then we'd work until 12, 1 at night, and we do everything. Like we'd start off, me and Wayne, like jamming. I'd be coming up with some riff, then he'd come up with something on the drums. We'd record it. Then we'd sit down. We'd meticulously write bass lines for that. We'd spend a whole day or 2 days just writing a bass line for a song. It was so cool though. To really get inside the songs and make work out how to make it. Just a trio at that point, because we were just like, if this can sound fucking amazing as a trio, then as soon as you bring keys in and bring percussion in and bring BBs and all this sort of stuff, it's going to sound amazing. And then when we spend days writing lyrics, which is always like you gotta really swallow your pride and your ego when it comes to writing lyrics, because when it comes to writing words, it's like really, you've got to come from the heart. And then if you come up with a line and you're like, I've got this line, and then the other two guys go, that's shit. You go, just go, okay. You go, okay. And then the same when they say something. But as a result, you come up with something that you feel is like real strong. So that album I'm proud of all the songs on there. And as far as a song in particular, I don't know, are we angling towards me playing something here?
That's entirely up to you. But I'm just asking you, what is your favourite song? If you had to play, you know, you've got the lady at the end of the bar and you're trying to, you know, go, how you doing? And you have to, like, impress her with one of your songs, what song would it be?
Ooh. I've started playing this song again, which I wrote a long time ago. It's called "It Doesn't Have to Be That Way." I've been playing that again recently. It's one I wrote like 6-7 years ago or something. But that's one. Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, play it. Is that the one you'd hit her with? Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. You can hear that, okay?
Yeah. What's it? G minor.
Yeah.
Look at that, gone Gypsy King.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia!
Just setting the mood here. Oh, hang on. Cheers. Okay. Have you ever been in love? So much into you, you just don't know how. Can't understand what she sees in you. Don't understand why she puts up with everything you put her through. Have you ever had to break that heart? Turn her whole life upside down. You just wanted to make things right, but it was time to turn your own life around. It doesn't have to be that way. You and I don't have to change. Things will never be the same. It doesn't have to be that way. You can get back. You can get back to the way things were. Oh, no. Have you ever had to say goodbye to your girl? You just don't love her the way she loves you. And did it just feel so wrong? And me again when I said it's not the end, you know that it doesn't have to be that way. You and I don't have to change. Things will never be the same. It doesn't have to be that way. You can get back. You can get back to the way things were. Get back to the way things were. Get back to the way things were. Get back to the way. You used to be in love. I'm still with friends. Forget that you used to make love. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that way. You and I don't have to change. Things will never be that way. It doesn't have to be that way now. It doesn't have to end this way.
Woo! Hey, sounds good. So what is it about that song you like?
I don't know, just the vibe. Just like the I think I like the bounce to it. The kind of sort of swingy little thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a ragaton thing.
No, so, and that was your song, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. From the back in the early days.
Yeah. It's kind of an old song. It came out on when I did the first song that the first album I released when I was signed to Manhattan was live at the Royal Albert Hall, which is when I played at the Albert Hall for that London Blues Fest thing.
Hold on. I've just ordered some more rum. That's what you need. You need a barmaid.
Look at that service.
I know. But no, it's a good song, man. So what album's that off?
So that's from the Live at the Royal Albert Hall album, which was the first album that we put out on Manhattan Records, and recorded by the BBC. And so that was in 2014. Yeah, it's just a little bit of an older tune now, but I just kind of, when songs you stop playing for a long time and you fall back in love with them again, and that's just one of those.
And what's the recent album?
So the most recent album is another live album, actually. So Trio Live. I did 2 studio albums between.
I think I've got that Trio Live 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've written down Anytime You Need Me. Is that the one before it?
That's the one before it.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
That's the most recent studio album, and the Trio Live is the most recent album. Just came out. Trio Live 19 recorded last year, obviously 2019, but officially released in January this year, and. Obviously, was looking forward to a nice year of touring that album and getting up there and doing all that, and then whatever happened.
Yeah. I know. It's
strange.
Marcus Malone was the same. He had an album release, I think, in January, February, and then all this kicked off, and they've not been able to tour it at all or promote it.
Is that the one with Innes? Is it?
Yeah. So
cool, man.
the amount of money you put in and investment into recording the album and stuff. It's hard, it's sad, really. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to release a new one, but I'm holding back now because
makes sense.
It's not going to be till next year. I mean, it's done. So
finished.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah. It's the last one I did was 2005.
Oh wow.
So and that was with Craig and Barry.
Yeah, wow.
So
what's this Tommy Allen solo thing? Cool, man. Cool. And because you play with Damon, right? And Damon did a few shows with.
Yeah. Worked with Damon.
Last year. Oh, well, he's
drummers have been the bane of my life, if I'm honest with you. I think I've been through like 20 drummers.
Yeah, well, I think same for me as well, to be honest.
Don't have that problem with bass players.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the same for me, actually.
Yeah. So we have to talk off air about that.
No, to be honest, I haven't got many bad things to say about anybody, really. Like even with Craig and Barry, I might not play with those guys anymore, but still good pals and still speak about all the time. Obviously, when we were supposed to do this on Tuesday, and Barry was calling me because I think you messaged him, right?
Well, because I got it fucked up, didn't I? And I love the fact that you panicked. I like that bit.
I was like, I'm sure we said Thursday, and I see this message from you saying, "Are you ready?" I'm like, Jesus.
I was sitting here in my shirt.
I was saying my pants in the garden.
I was like, what's going on? And then I had to own up. I had to ring Barry and ring everyone and say, yeah, it's my bad. Yeah. But, it's just because you know what life's like. You've got so many things. You do music, but you obviously got other shit going on. And it was my mistake, yeah. I mean, I haven't
got that excuse now. That's why I was sure I got the date right because I haven't got many appointments.
No, it's
not like usual life at the moment. I'm just sitting at home, like with teaching and a few sessions here and there. But it's as far as the diary being full goes, it's it's just not.
No. But I'm doing about 3 of these a week, so it's
yeah.
And I'm like this bit behind you. You see, we're changing it all around. We're getting a sofa bed in the back, and we're going to start doing live bits. When people can move around. So like when you're up this way, you can come in here, and
awesome.
we can
Awesome.
do a YouTube shoot here and do like a jam or chill out or a little interview or whatever, you know.
Yeah, man. Great. Yeah, it's good. No, it's great what you're doing, and obviously you told me the artists that you've had on so far, and it's like, that's why I'm very happy you asked me to do this, because I've had a few people ask, and not all of them I've said yes to, you know.
No, well,
I see the artists you've had on there, and knowing you from hearing about you through Baz and Craig, so I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah, well, it'd be a laugh, like, you know, it's nothing serious. Like I said, it's just a chill out musician talk to talk, and you know, like you said, the questions are different because I'm not really doing what normal interview people do. Just, you know, it's just a chill out.
Yeah, and you know the scene.
Yeah.
You
So
I
know if you're fucking lying.
Yeah. If when you say, so how did you go to that next step? I'm just like, oh, it just happened. Yeah, Simon Cowell called me and off we go.
Yeah, give me that, whatever.
Yeah. Just straight bullshit.
I don't know. So let's get back to the music stuff. With the guitar then. So what's your main electric guitar at the minute?
So still, this is
Telecaster. Okay.
Yeah, Telecaster. I've got a few tellies. This is my main one. It's been my main one for a long time now.
How long?
So it looks really old, but it's not. It's 2002, I think. 2000. Yeah.
And is it a standard telly, or you've got adaptation on it?
Yeah, it's just American. It's American standard USA telly. It's got 4 seasons pickups in it, which I've got 4 seasons pickups in both of my tellies that I've got currently, and my new one, which is coming next week, which has been specially built for me. It's the Ben Poole signature G&S Guitars telly, which I'm very excited about. I'll be doing a lot of posts about that as soon as that arrives.
And what's that like? Because obviously, me being a Fender man like you, I don't know if I could have someone build me a guitar, even if they're giving it to me, because my guitar's part of me. Louise, she's called, and I've had her since I was like 16. And
this is your Strat?
Yeah. I don't know if I could, hold on, get a phone call here. Hello? Hello? Alright, Pete, I'm doing an interview at the minute, mate, so can I talk to you later? You're live now, so you fucked it right up. I'll talk to you later.
Alright, Pete.
Ben Poole says hello. Oh, he says, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Who is it? Pete who?
It's Pete. I'll talk to you later, mate. There we go. Can't keep it more live than that, can we?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, so I don't know, like if I was in your position, if someone said, oh, I'll give you a guitar and I'll build it for you, I could still give up Louise, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to say. I don't know. Nothing sounds like her. Even though she's like yours, a standard. It's just what your body's grown to.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was that for you? How did you do?
Well, I've been offered, I don't know, 4 or 5 times by guitar manufacturers, maybe more, to build me a guitar. But I've never said yes, because I don't want to say yes and they build me a guitar, put a lot of effort into it, and then I don't play it.
Well, you got to promote it as well, haven't you? That's the thing.
Well, even if they've not necessarily said to me, "You've got to do this, you've got to do that," I'd feel bad if they made me a guitar. You know, spent a whole load of time, money, effort, and then I just didn't play it. I just feel bad. So I never said yes until these guys came along. Because when I started, we did a big tour end of last year through October, November, December. Like, I think it was like 80 shows in maybe 12, 13 countries or something. And the very, very first show was in Belgium at Spirit 66, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And these guys came down and they made this scratch plate as well. This Jack Daniels barrel scratch plate. They made these, and they bought a guitar down which they made, which is a telly. And I played it, and it just felt very similar to what I'm used to. So it felt real nice. Like, just played instantly, you know, your hands just fall into place, and it felt great. So when they offered, they didn't say anything that night. I was just like, oh man, that's a great guitar. And then a couple of weeks later, they gave me the scratch plate that night. I put it straight on, and I just think it looks cool. and then yeah, and then they just said, "Oh, how do you feel about us making a guitar for you?" And there's no talk of any promotion or anything like that. Obviously, I'm sure they're hopeful that I'm going to be playing with it, and I wouldn't have said yes if that wasn't my plan. So they've built it for me completely from scratch since then. And bird's eye maple neck. It's like a blue flame finish on the top. It's got so my friend Bob Gabriel in Holland, who makes 4 Seasons pickups, which I've got in both my tellies. He wired some pickups for me to send to Belgium for these guys. It's all gold hardware as well, which I fucking love. So everything gold, like
even blinged up then, yeah.
It's all bling to the max, bling to the max. And on the back of the headstock, it's got the writing from Voodoo Child. So all my tattoos are like related to Voodoo Child with Jimi Hendrix. Okay. So on the back of the headstock, it says, "Well, I stand up next to a mountain, chop it down with the edge of my hand." It says that here on the back of the headstock. Right, so can't wait to play it. And yeah, it's got binding on it as well, white binding. Yeah, it looks awesome.
So how are you going to explain it to this baby? See?
You're not forgotten, guy. I just got a side chick now.
So what's your go-to amp then with it?
What?
What's your go-to amp with it?
So Hampstead, I've been using Hampstead amps for quite a while. They gave me this amp back in 2015, I think. Yeah, great amp. It's got a really good reverb, really good tremolo. So I usually run 2 amps, and my main sort of combo is the Hampstead and this Fender, which I bought from our friend Ainsley Lister.
It looks like mine.
It's a Pro Reverb.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, one of them. Is that what year is that?
This is so it's a 1974 or 72.
Mine's
1974.
Yeah, mine's close to that. 69 or 70 mine is. I don't exactly know.
So you got a Pro as well?
Yeah. I've got one of them. But I don't know the exact year because on the power amps at the back, you know, the transformers, the serial number, it says 6970. So I'm not too sure, you know. But it sounds great. They're lovely amps.
Yeah, it's great, and it's because it's not a twin. It's not too ridiculous.
No, it's just under. It's like what is it? About 40 watt, I think.
40 watts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought this off Ainsley because when I was recording the album before Anytime You Need Me, Time Has Come, borrowed so much stuff off Ainsley. Borrowed a bunch of amps. His White Marshall, borrowed that.
Yeah.
We were just going to the studio and
he's had that built now, isn't he? Into a.
With Rift amps. So Rift amps has done a mod on this as well. So the Rift amps, there's a lot of Rift amp stuff going on inside here, as well as Eminent speakers, which they already had in there. Screaming Eagles, they're called. And I love this amp because it's not like a normal loud Fender where you have to really crank it for it to break up. It breaks up a little bit quicker, which is nice because you don't have to have it cranked too much.
The only problem I found with it is like when I did Voodoo Child and stuff, that the low end broke up quite a lot on them, where on the twin it stayed cleaner. You know, like when you hit the low E.
Yeah, and it got a bit muddy on
there was 2 songs, and Voodoo Child was one. The low E used to break up on that amp.
Right, right.
But yeah, other than that, it was a great amp for the rest of the set. It's just like the 2 instrument, sort of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, the only thing is it's broken a lot. So
right.
It's fixed so many times. But it's like it's this combination of like old and new because it's an original like I'm sure it's a 1974, but then it's got all these new bits in it from Rift amps, which he's done a great job of making it sound even better. But I think the combination is trying to work out whether it's the brand new parts that are going wrong or the very old parts that are going.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's.
Is it a printed circuit? Well, it wouldn't be printed, would it? It's hand wired, I suppose.
It's hand wired, yeah. It's hand wired.
So they're a bit easier to work with, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I've taken it to Chris a couple of times now. He's based in Northamptonshire, and he's always been cool. When I say, man, amps, something wrong with the amp, I just pop in there, and he takes it out, has a good look at it, and he knows what's going on.
Who's that then, Chris?
Chris Rift.
Chris Rift, okay.
Yeah. So he's Rift amps. Obviously, Ainsley's got his signature with him now.
Right, okay, yeah. Because I'm not far from Northampton. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm Rugby, so.
Okay. Yeah, you're not far from him at all.
No, so when you come up this way, you have to come up.
Yeah, man. When you got this all up and running over there.
Yeah. We'll get Ainsley down hopefully as well then.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. That'd be great.
He's in Leicester, so I think he'll be up for it. A bit of a laugh.
Yeah, he'd definitely be up for it, man. Because me and him played together quite a lot in the last few years. I always give him a shout. Last time I played in Leicester, he came up on stage, and I always give him a shout out because he's one of the guys that I went to see when I was like 16, and he's one of the guys that inspired me. And then to go on to play with him many times, and we did this blues rock cruise and around the Mediterranean a couple of years ago. I'm supposed to do it again this September actually, but I think cruises this September, maybe it's a little soon. But I'm up for it. But yeah, I got to know him real well, and he's like a friend now. And in fact, one of my next shows, because obviously everything's been cancelled most of the summer, one of my next shows is in Germany with Ainsley. We're doing like an acoustic duo thing. You know the Guitar Heroes Festival in Yoldiland in Germany? Yeah. But he asked me to do that with him in 12th of September or something. So that's one of the next shows, something to look forward to as long as everything works out okay in the world.
So what pedals are you using? I mean, on your live shows, what's your?
It's pretty simple, really. My board looks quite complicated. Let me just try and angle the Mac down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more. It looks more complicated than it is. Tube Screamer, Deja Vibe, Vibrato, AC Booster. AC Booster I bought off Ainsley, so I bought a few things off him. He's done well out of me. Yes, that boy. I bought the amp off him. I bought the AC Booster. Octavius, this is a great pedal. It's like an octave and fuzz. Delay, a couple of fuzzes, and that's it really. Yeah. Right. Nothing too complicated. It looks more complicated than it is. But yeah, it's pretty simple really.
Right, okay. And what's your go-to pedal?
The thing is, like, I like I know some people like to run a clean amp and then use pedals to get their kind of tone. I like to use the amp sound and just get a really good guitar into amp sound, and then only use pedals to kind of build on that, you know. So really, just like something like a Tube Screamer, just for kicking in when it comes to solos. If I could manage with just that, as long as you've got a nice reverb as well, decent amp sound with a good reverb, with a bit of breakup, so it's not like a total clean. Like I don't like twins, just because they're too clean. And I like to use just a kind of an amp sound where if you dig in, you get that kind of firm response, where it's not just going to stay clean like jazzy. But yeah.
So if you had to grab a pedal and go, it'd be your Tube Screamer, would it? Yeah,
just any kind of drive. Or like I've got a couple of Klon copies as well. Either of those, something for a bit of extra.
Okay. And if you had to take two off there, what would you take off? I love that question.
Delay? I don't really need delay that much.
And a tuner.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Barry and Craig said that you'd never had a tuner or something.
Well, I've had them, but Louise she's one of
sometimes
them.
They're broken and it would go out of tune.
Well, sometimes I've ended the song with 3 strings, and this. Yeah.
Yes, this is the other thing. You never change strings, yeah.
I don't have a backup guitar. Yeah, I know, but it's
rock and roll, man. Rock and roll.
You know, I just keep going.
Yeah.
But no, Louise does. I don't know. Yeah, I just done some work with the producer that done Black Sabbath stuff and Judas Priest and all that, and even he was saying like Louise, she's great for some stuff, but for some of the things she's getting a bit old maybe now, or the intonation's pretty getting there with certain chords.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't know. She's been refretted like 3 times I think since I've had her.
So you might be retiring her soon.
Well, for rhythm, I might have to start thinking that I may need a second rhythm guitar in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for playing chords where the intonation has to be bang on.
Yeah, basically. But for solos, she's fine. But it's like today I was playing her this morning. And you're playing, but the truss rod's rattling inside her.
Right.
And I'm thinking, and I'm tapping it, and I'm thinking, oh man. So it's but she's had a lot of work, over the like well, when was you born?
89.
89, yeah, and she was like 10 years after that then. So, well, under 10 years, 1993, I think she is.
Right.
So, yeah, so she's not far off you, and she's been like on the road for a lot of it, and
And different pickups, or what's been?
Everything's standard.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's been through college and through school and through gigging everywhere and thrown in the. So she's not been really looked after. A lot of soft cases when I was younger. Instead of hard cases. So yeah. But I agree with the Tube Screamer. That's one of my favourite pedals.
Yeah.
Very
wrong. And it's never broken. I've had it for a long time, and like sturdy, solid. Yeah.
And what about recording? Did you take control of where mic placements are and stuff, or do you let the engineer do it? Or?
To be honest, I just trust the engineers with that. Because I feel like unless you really, really, really know what you're doing, just let the guys whose job it is, let them kind of decide on that kind of stuff. Especially somebody that doesn't really know. When it comes to the recording process, I've only just got Logic like 2 weeks ago. Wayne's given me a license, one of his licenses for Logic, which is very kind of him. I actually just bought an interface like 2 weeks ago, so I'm only just starting this this kind of home recording thing, and that's purely just because of the situation we're in. So if there's one positive, it's kind of giving me a kick up the arse to learn how to.
It's a whole new ballpark, I think, learning all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was something I've been planning to do for a long time, ever since I, first bought my Mac in like 2014 or something. It was always the plan. Oh yeah, I'm buying this and get the top spec, and so that I can start doing some recording. And then it's taken until now when I've got all this time available.
Have you recorded anything?
Yeah, just been recording demos. Yeah, just been just writing new songs and getting some demos down and trying to gear up for the next album. And to be fair, I've probably got 2 albums possibly on the cards, or at least in rough kind of forms. So yeah, exactly like you said. In this time, people could potentially have 2 albums ready to go. I'm kind of on the way there.
So do you have a favourite chord to play when you pick up the guitar?
I've got a lot of favourite chords. It's like some real simple ones, like because I've been teaching a lot again recently, and
you teach as well.
I haven't taught for a long time, but I've started teaching again. Just having this time and having not a lot of income right now without. I've started doing a little bit again. So it's like trying to teach people very simple chords that sound cool, and a lot of them are ninths. I love ninth chords, so like add nines. So like if you got an E major chord, you just add the second on there, or like, and then just those add nines, and with they were obviously the major ones, but like minor ones.
What's the weirdest scale then? That you actually fit into your solo somewhere.
That actually fit in. I do like that. The Phrygian dominant. So it's like. So I play that sometimes because every now and then I'll play a little bit of acoustic, and kind of, especially when I'm touring in Spain, it's always nice to throw a little bit of that in, and they're all like, oh.
Have you ever heard that Jeff Ely album, Cover to Cover?
Sorry?
Cover to Cover album, Jeff Ely. Have you ever heard that?
Oh yeah, that album.
Yeah, that last song, Me and My Crazy Self. I found out this week because I didn't know it was done by Lonnie Johnson.
Yeah, because that's who did that originally.
Yeah, in the 1930s, or
right.
And Lonnie Johnson, because I think he's an underrated guitarist of the time. That's why I keep bringing him up with people.
Right.
I think he sounds BB King sounds, you know, you can hear elements from Lonnie Johnson, but Lonnie Johnson also wrote the song Tomorrow Night that Elvis covered in his first early releases, and Jeff Healey with Me and My Crazy Self. He was an amazing guitar player for his time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and like what he's playing there, it sounds, you can hear that sort of, that tone, what he had, you know, that sound, what he had. It's a great sound.
Yeah, and then like the Hell to Pay album after that, and then Cover to Cover.
I didn't get the Hell to Pay album as much. I didn't get the Hell to Pay album as much. I thought it was a bit... Well, I like Jeff's playing, but I just think it was too 80s.
Very 80s sounding.
You know.
But I'm kind of a bit of a sucker for some 80s stuff. Like, I love...
well, you done the Don Henley thing, didn't you? The Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, and one of my favourite albums, which I've got some vinyls framed on my wall. One of them is "Take It to Heart" by Michael McDonald, which is like very 80s sounding. But one of my favourite albums. So I'm a bit of a sucker for some of those. It's so dated now, but like, it's definitely, as soon as you hear some of those snare sounds and everything, you're like, wow, that's 80s. But I'm a bit of a sucker for that. I think maybe that comes from some of my dad's music taste.
The Don album, the Don album I like is what's it called? The one with Stevie Wonder on it. It does the beginning song, and For My Wedding, he does that song on it as well.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the name of the fucking album now, but that's a great album. I've got that on my phone. I'll tell you, actually. Check this out.
To be honest, I was never like with the Dirty Laundry thing. That wasn't my idea. I was never like the biggest Don Henley fan or Eagles fan. That was something that was brought in by Steve, actually, when we were working on that album with Wayne and Steve. So
Inside Job, that was what it's called.
Inside Job. Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, it's a great album. So that wasn't your idea then? That was...
No, that wasn't my idea at all. That was brought in by Steve, and Wayne was like, "That's a cool idea." I had to listen to it. I was like, "Yeah, we could do something cool with that." So, but it's nice to be pushed from your kind of, you know, it's so easy to get comfortable in what you think you can do and what you think you're able to achieve, like as a musician. And then when someone throws you a curveball, and it's kind of nice to push yourself and to be challenged. Think, okay, let's try and do something with this, and try and make it interesting. You know, you don't just want to do like a straight cover, because like with that song, for example, the keys dropped like 2 tones because his voice is so high. I mean, he's got an incredible, like, such an amazing voice. So we started messing around with it, and it was instantly clear that it was too high. So we dropped it down a few keys and a couple of tones. And just tried to do something a little bit different with it. Yeah,
no, it was fun. It was fun, and the video was fun as well. Enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
with the laundromat, chicks dancing around.
Yeah, me with the moustache and it's getting that way now. I was thinking, oh shit, I've got to do some sort of interview with Tommy, and I look like fucking Tom Hanks' character in Castaway a little bit, but the hair's growing out. Yeah, a couple more months.
Yeah, that's all right. Still got the vest on though, so.
Yeah, I've been in this for 2 months.
Yeah. It's funny because the album covers are black, so.
Yeah.
How many vests you got? Do you open up the cupboard and there's like you just
black vests.
Oh dear. So I've got so many bloody questions here. We ain't got through them. So if you could change anything about the music business, what would it be?
Oh man, these are good questions. These are definitely questions from a musician.
You know,
that's a real question.
I suppose because you're quite young. I suppose you're used to the way it is.
Yeah,
you know, some of the older guys that remember vinyl and back before digital and all that stuff. It was, you know, it's a big leap for them guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, kind of for me, I've been growing. You know, my career has kind of gone through the change. My career's been only sort of building for the last like 7 years, I guess.
So it's been quite on the internet, isn't it?
Change, yeah. And it's a case of like just trying to embrace that side of it rather than shunning it.
But how do you feel like with Spotify and that, which is like 0.001% or whatever?
Yeah. I was literally just about to say that. Like with Spotify, you can either be pissed off about it and shun it and refuse to be on it, or you can just roll with it And for me, it's worked out really well because I've had more plays than a lot of people on the scene. Like, because I managed to get onto a Spotify playlist, blues rock playlist, like one of the biggest ones that's in the world. And now with one of my songs, it's like 2 million plays on Spotify, which actually it ends up equating to some money. So until you get to like the millions, then it's like you can barely buy a fucking Big Mac. But, you know, when you start to get onto some playlist or something, or you just hit onto something, and it kind of starts to roll. So the playlist I was on was this big blues rock playlist, along with Joe Bonamassa and like Beth Hart and Eric Gales. You know,
but did you have any control over that, or did that happen without your control?
I think that was through the distributors. So with Manhattan, with the label that put it out, I think it was through distributors. They pitched it some playlists, and I guess they get pitches all the time from many people. But I was lucky enough that they decided to put one of my songs onto there. So yeah, I mean, and with my new album, I put it on Spotify.
The whole album you put on there?
Yeah. And it is like either I do that. The thing is, the way that when I sat down with my record label about this, they said people are either, so the younger generation, they're using Spotify. They're not necessarily going to use anything else. So if they can't find you on Spotify, they're not going to then go and buy your physical CD from your store. So it's either you reach those people or you just decide to blank them entirely. And my hope is that if people are finding me on Spotify and enjoying the material, enjoying the music, listening a lot, then at some point they're going to come to a show, and then, you know, I make a little bit of revenue that way. And I just have to stay positive and feel.
And you think putting the whole album on there's a good idea, not just like some of the songs, and let them?
Yeah, put the whole thing on there. Yeah. And with the older generation, they're buying physical CDs. They're not listening to Spotify. So like different. It's not people are doing both. They're doing one or the other. So why stay exclusive to one when you can reach a bigger audience, spread the name, increase your fan base through any means necessary.
And your fan base, what are you seeing any younger people?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know what it's like. It's the blues.
With the blues, yes.
It's generally an older crowd, but I'm starting to see younger people come through, which is cool. There's a lot of young guitar players out there which come to shows, and yeah, it's okay. It could be worse.
Do you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, a lot of things I'm missing. Snowboarding and wakeboarding. I'm still running a lot. I try and stay in shape, which is a little bit different from a lot of musicians, but yeah, I try and stay in shape.
So what's your Desert Island disc?
Grace, Jeff Buckley.
What's that one?
Grace by Jeff Buckley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my favourite album.
And you watching any TV at the moment?
Just Netflix.
Yeah, what are you watching?
I've been watching. I finished Ozark. That's cool.
I'm on that at the minute, Ozark.
Yeah, what do you think? You like it?
Yeah, we're early still in it. I think, yeah, it's all right. Yeah. She's just blown this guy's head in half.
How far in are you?
Well, that hillbilly woman that shot that like Mexican drug dealer in the head, and he.
Oh yes, yeah. She's scary as fuck, man.
So that's where we're at. They're just trying to explain why he's disappeared off the scene.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know where you are. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's great. There's some good twists and turns in that. And the cool thing about that show is like all the scariest, most badass characters. They're all the women in it. So it's like that scary woman.
Yeah.
They're like hillbilly woman, and then the younger,
the blonde-haired girl.
Ruth. Yeah, she's a great actress.
She electrified the bloody thing, didn't she?
Yeah. She electrified. Was it her uncle? I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then you will start to see more the cartel lawyer woman.
Yeah, she's just turned up.
Yeah, she's a badass as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got some good moments to look forward to. The third season is really good.
Oh, okay.
I had mixed reviews about it. Like some people didn't like it, and some people did. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, you got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I see you then. How that ended out. So if you could go back in time and spend one day, what day would you pick? You know,
But yeah, maybe Woodstock watching Hendrix.
Woodstock watching Hendrix.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And if you could go back and give yourself some advice back when you started out, what would it be?
Choose another career path.
Would it?
No. Some days I feel like that, but no. I'm very, very blessed, very thankful. But I don't know. That's another good question. Shit, man.
What have you learnt that you'd go back and advise yourself and say, look?
Just to enjoy, to really appreciate every moment. I think because as we're saying, you know, you look back on things sometimes you're like, oh man, that was fucking good times, but at the time it maybe didn't feel that way.
You missed it because you're in the moment. Yeah,
you missed it because you're in the moment and you're not enjoying it to its fullest. Like you don't realise how much you're going to be envious. You're going to look back and go, man, those are good times. Like just embrace every moment, and as long as you're working hard and you're reaching for something bigger, then enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of it. It's not like just be negligent and too carefree with everything, but make sure you stop and appreciate all everything that goes into the build, into the grind, and into the development of your career.
And what's your highlight for like when you was gigging? What's been your highlight so far?
It's been a lot. It's like playing with some of my heroes, like playing with Jeff Beck and playing with Gary Moore. Like so that's a while ago now, but I still will have to hold that stuff very, very dear to my heart because I'm very lucky for that. Playing some, first time like playing in America, first time playing in Russia. These kind of things cool, like playing in Moscow, first time I played in America was with me and Barry flew to Omaha, Nebraska, and played a show. It was like 10,000 people or something, and that was 2014, I think. Yeah, and having like an American band with me, and like good times. Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. I've been real lucky,
But you've worked for it, so it's well deserved.
Yeah, worked hard and just always try and give the best show. Always try and be consistent. Always try and get on stage and give it everything. Did some great shows last year, and even last year there was a string of 3 festivals that we did last summer, and we took 6 flights in 3 days to do a festival in France, then a festival in Lithuania, then a festival in France again. But we had to fly via, it's like via Holland both times. So we're talking like six flights or something, and trains, and it was like an absolute nightmare. I think the first night we had maybe 3 hours sleep. The second night, maybe 2 hours sleep. The third night, 1 hour sleep. Something ridiculous. It was insane. But the festivals were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like big festivals, and we played so well, and energy was amazing. That was with my friend Kelpie, the Italian guy who's over here now, and Stefan Avellanido, who's a guy from Paris, on drums. And yeah, that was like the highlight for me last year. So every year there's like something cool. The cruise thing I was talking about earlier with Ainsley, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a week on a cruise, going around the Mediterranean and playing shows and hanging out with cool people. Hanging out with. I like all those things where you hang around with the crowd. And I think there's a lot of situations where I've been booked based on the fact that I interact with. I don't have like some sort of ego where I just want to disappear to the dressing room. Like I'm more than happy to hang out, have a chat and a drink with everybody. And I get a lot of bookings based on that. Even today, I've had an offer for something in this August in Hungary to go to a festival and for 4 days and play, but it's also like an interaction thing. It's not just like you come in, you play a show and then you go. It's like you come in, you play, but we want you to come and hang out and experience the culture and meet the people, which I love all that stuff because I think it's really important. Like as a person to meet people and just listen, learn from everybody, and yeah. So all those kind of things are cool. When I played in Greece for the first time in 2011, a festival called Rhodes Rock Festival. It's like 2000. It was like a festival with like 2,000 people, but we went for a whole week, and you stay in a hotel with all the other people that are there to watch the festival. So the bands and the punters are all in together, and everybody hangs out at the bar together until 9 a.m, and then they come and see you play, and then you catch up after, and you hang out, and then you go and bump into one another in the village, and it's like a whole immersive experience, and the people really enjoy that, you know, because if they're paying their hard-earned cash and they know that they're not only just going to see a show, they're going to get to hang out with the artists that they love, then it's cool for them, and for me it's cool as well, because I like doing all that stuff and catching up with people, and you know, sometimes, you know, it's just nice when people feel like it's weird when people feel like it's a surprise that you're like a normal person. But you're like, hey, how's it going, man? You want a drink? And they're like, what? yeah, I'm Ben. How you doing?
So if I ask you some quick fire questions, see how you crack on with these.
Oh.
So I'll let you have a drink first.
Mm.
So cash or card?
Cash.
Love or money?
Love.
Logic or creativity?
Creativity.
Black or white?
Black.
Inside the box or outside the box?
Inside the box.
Silence or conversation?
Conversation.
Do you sing in the shower?
No.
Really?
No.
Shit, man, I thought you'd have been in there like do what, you know. You know, doing a bit of summer loving or.
Yeah. Hair slick back. Yeah. Especially now the hair's growing out. Yeah. Maybe I'll start now.
Well, you know, best acoustics.
Yeah, doing my John Travolta in the shower.
Yeah. Have to get it on there, but no, it's been cool, man. Hanging out and having a chat, getting to know you a bit, you know.
Yeah, bro. No, like I said, it's good to finally put a face to the name. Having heard about you when I first started playing with Barry, it was always, you know, talking about Trafficker days, and you kind of been there and done that with him. When I was first starting, like I said, my first tour ever outside of the UK was in Holland, and it was with Baz, and we're going past like all these places, and you go, oh, I was there with Tom, and I was there with Craig, and blah blah blah, all these stories that you had from playing in like going past Antwerp. It's like, oh yeah, I've been in Antwerp many times with you guys. There was some bar who told me about you guys used to play a lot, and it's cool, man. It's cool to meet you properly.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go because I've got another gin to pour now, so I'm gonna go and spend some time with the missus. So,
all right, bro.
Give us the thumbs.
Nice one. Nice one, Tommy.
Hey, it's Tommy Allen from TommyAllenMusic.com, and that was Ben Poole. You can find out more about Ben and his music at www.benpooleband.com and www.benpoole.co.uk. Next week, we have Mike Senior, the author to the book Mixing Secrets. Check it out. He's written for the column for Sound on Sound, Mix Rescue, worked with Wet Wet Wet, Reef, and many other bands. He's right here on TommyAllenMusic.com next week. Come check that out. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button. Until next week, a word from our director.
Goodbye.